Hi, everyone. I would like to welcome everybody to the SAT study group here at the Levittown Public Library. I just wanted to take a minute to kind of run through how the group will run, what expectations we have of the tutors and the participants, and to just become familiar with the tools that we have available to help with all of our test prep needs. So the very first thing I wanted to just discuss briefly was the purpose of the group. So the purpose of this study group is to encourage students to work together to prepare to take the SAT test. So over a 2.5-month period, students will take 4 full practice tests. We'll review common mistakes, we'll identify strengths and weaknesses, we'll track our progress over time, and we're going to offer support to one another during times of stress, frustration, and we're going to celebrate when we triumph. Okay, let's take a look at our schedule. Our first meeting is going to be held on Saturday, July 31st from 2:30 to 3:30, and that's basically going to be our introduction meeting. During our introduction, we're basically going to introduce ourselves. We're going to learn how the group will run. We'll go over what is expected of you on the weeks that we are not meeting, and we're going to familiarize ourselves with all of the tools that we'll be using over the course of the next few weeks. We're then just going to jump right into our first meeting on August 7th, which again is a Saturday from 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. And before that first meeting, I just encourage you to, again, familiarize yourselves with some of the tools that we'll be talking about, like the Khan Academy and the College Board. We'll also ask you to do some diagnostic testing or take a practice test, just to kind of familiarize yourself with maybe some questions that you might want to go over during our first meeting. Then we're going to take a kind of a week on and a week off approach. So during the next week, from August 7th to the 20th, we will not be meeting. So you are encouraged to, again, take an online practice test, go through some of the SAT prep books, look at some of the online resources, and kind of come up with maybe some questions that you might have or things that you're struggling with that we can go over during our SAT study group sessions. We'll then meet again on August 21st from 2:30 to 3:30. We'll then again take that week off from the 21st to the 3rd. We'll meet for our third meeting on September 4th from 2:30 to 3:30. Then we're going to take a little bit of a longer break since we know that school will be starting and we know that those are going to be some busy weeks. And then we'll have our last session on September 25th from 2:30 to 3:30. Just something additional to mention, we do have on our website some recorded videos of crash courses that we have done in the past. We have one that goes over basically an entire math section from the SAT and one that goes over the reading and writing section of the SAT. So I definitely encourage you to check out our website and look at some of those resources and kind of familiarize yourself with some of those sections and see exactly how our tutors have kind of gone basically step by step through the entire sections. And then that can help also prepare you for the next study group or for the test in general. Okay, so let's go into our ground rules for each meeting. The very first one is to treat every member with respect. It's important that we are making sure that we're respecting every single member and participant of this group. Second, I welcome all questions. There is no stupid questions, so please feel free to ask anything that you are concerned about or have, worry about with the test. We're all here to support and learn from one another, so please do not be shy. Third, I also expect everyone to participate fully. I cannot say enough that what you put into this group is what you get out of it. So if you're not taking the online practice test, if you're not practicing in between, if you're not paying attention to the areas that you're having questions and concerns about, you're not going to get much out of this group. However, if you are doing those things, then you will definitely see some improvements in your grades on the actual SAT practice tests. And you'll just feel a lot more prepared once it comes time to actually take the test. Another thing to mention is that I would like everyone to make sure that we're staying focused and on task when we are meeting in our Zoom meetings. We are only meeting for an hour, so it's important that we try to address as many questions and concerns during that hour as we can. Although I want us to be friendly and I encourage talking here and there, it's just important that we're making sure that we're using, making the most out of that full hour that we can. Again, as I said before, just please don't be shy. Please feel free to speak up if you have any questions, concerns, comments. This is kind of our first year of doing this, so I am open to any suggestions that anybody has. So please make sure if you wish to see something work differently, please let me know. I expect every participant to show up prepared to each meeting, which means I expect everyone to be taking the practice test in between each meeting, looking over their test results, preparing what questions they want to go over. To make this a little bit easier, and because we only have such a short amount of time in each of our meetings, I ask that any questions that you would like the tutors to walk through on our review days, that you email them to me prior to our Zoom meetings. So my email is listed there at sdpietro@levitttownpl.org. I also ask that you please try to email them at least 3 days prior to our Zoom meeting, because that will give our tutors a couple days to kind of look them over. And if they're not 100% sure how to answer that question, it'll give them some time to research and look into answering it properly. And then the very last one is to just make sure that you're putting the time in and you're practicing in between the meetings. Again, the Khan Academy, as we'll go over later, has tons of extra resources like videos that you can watch, words of the day, and other flashcards and things like that that can definitely help with your SAT prep. So I definitely encourage you to take advantage of those resources and use as many of them as possible.
Okay, let's go over some things specifically for our tutors. So the study group is going to designate a captain and a co-captain, and they're going to be maintaining the schedule and the agenda for each meeting. So as I discussed earlier, I'm going to be asking all the participants to email any questions that they may have at least 3 days prior to the meeting. We have found in previous study groups that that did not always happen, and we ended up having a lot of groups with no questions ready to go. So we did ask that the tutors coordinate with the captain and the co-captain to prepare at least 3 to 4 questions that they'll be going over during their breakout group. This allowed, so even if the participants didn't necessarily have specific questions that they wanted to go over, at least everybody was going over some questions together and kind of getting at least something out of the group if they didn't have specific questions. If they do send in specific questions, then I will be emailing those to the captain, who will then email it to our tutors to start working on and preparing those specific questions for the meeting's agenda that week. So either way, we're going to be asking the tutors to be preparing 3 to 4 questions for each meeting to be going over with our breakout group sessions. So each session we will meet, you will be designated to a breakout group, and then you will go over those questions during the breakout group. We're looking at about 15 minutes for each breakout group, and you'll be going over those same questions 3 different times with 3 different groups of students. So that's kind of how we'll do it. It'll make a little bit more sense, I think, once we actually do it the first time. But if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. We do ask, since most of our communication will take place through email, that you are please checking your email regularly, as our captain and co-captain may be emailing you with questions to prepare, and also just to make sure that you're on the schedule, that you will be letting us know whether you'll be able to be there or not. Also, in addition, as a thank you for being such wonderful tutors, all tutors will be receiving 1 community service hour for each study session that they attend. We will also be giving an additional community service hour for the preparation that you will be doing on those questions before each study session. And then in addition, our captains and our co-captains will receive an additional community service hour each week, simply because of all the logistics that they will be working on.
Okay, so one of the most important things, again, I said, is to be prepared for our meetings. All participants should prepare for the first study group session by creating accounts on the College Board, the Khan Academy, and Tutor.com. Tutor.com is the only one that you will actually need your library card number for, so just have that handy when you go to sign up for that. This is a time to to identify your strengths and your weaknesses. So if you took the PSAT, you can share your scores on the Khan Academy. If you have not, there are 4 short diagnostic quizzes in both math and reading and writing that you can take that will give you a baseline. That also determines kind of where you will start as far as your practice test questions. Again, as I said before, please show up to the meetings prepared. Look over your test results. Make sure you're taking your practice test in between our meetings and coming up with some questions that you would like to go over. And then in between tests, everyone should take some practice time on their own. The Khan Academy has tons of videos you could watch. There's flashcards, there's words of the day, other different resources that I definitely encourage you to take advantage of. Okay, so let's go over some of the tools that we will be using. So the first thing is everybody's going to receive a test scored record sheet. This is just somewhere where you can record which practice test number you took, so you have a memory of it, what scores you received on each of the sections. You can choose to do the essay and the subject tests if those are something you're interested in, and then just a place where you can record some notes, some things that you're having trouble with, or some things that you really want to celebrate. Just so you can kind of keep a record of it. And this will also allow you to see if your scores are improving, if there's some things that you're still struggling with, and really just help to identify those areas of strength and areas that you might need some improvement on. The next thing is the College Board. I've provided the link here at the bottom. The College Board offers help in testing and assessments, some scholarship searches, advanced courses, financial aid applications, and much, much more. This is also where you're going to go to actually register for your SAT test. You can also mail in an application, or you could do it over the phone, but I find that doing it online tends to be the easiest, because then it also provides a really easy way to pick out your testing center and the time for your test as well. So the very first thing is to make sure that you are signing in and establishing an account with College Board. The second then is to go to the Khan Academy and sign up with an account there. These two accounts can also be linked, and when you go on to the Khan Academy, you'll see where it says, link with your College Board account. If you have any issues with that, please feel free to reach out to me and I can help you with that as well. But here's the link for that. The Khan Academy is where you'll actually be doing most of your SAT practicing, because it has interactive problems, video lessons. This is where you'll find your full-length practice test that you'll take every other week. It also provides personalized study plans, and it gives instant SAT essay feedback. So if you're looking to do the SAT essay, this is a great place to go for that as well. Then we also have Tutor.com. Tutor.com is a free service that is offered through Levittown Public Library, or the Nassau Library System. You will need your library card to sign up for an account with Tutor.com, so please have that handy. Here's the link that I've provided here. And Tutor.com basically provides live homework help on almost any subject, but it's only between the hours of 2 p.m. and 10 p.m., but it is 7 days a week. So definitely, if there's something that you're having a lot of trouble with, you would like some additional help with, this is a great resource to go to. You can also submit papers to review, or you can connect with an actual live tutor who will actually walk you through those questions as well. So just when you first sign on, you're going to see this Welcome to Tutor.com page. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll see this Prepare for a Test section, and under that there's Prep for the SAT, ACT, and you'll find a lot of those additional resources that I was talking about as far as flashcards, study books, things like that, underneath that tab. So that's a great place to start as well. Then if you're also wondering about what goal your SAT score should be, like what your college that you're interested in is looking for, you're going to want to go to the College Search tab. That's also on the College Board website, the same one that we talked about earlier. If you scroll down, you'll see this College Planning section. Right under that, you'll see College Search. If you click on that tab, you're going to be brought to this screen over here, where you'll see, these big circles here. And under that first tab, it says Test Scores and Selectivity. So if there's a specific college that you're really interested in, you can click on there and just see kind of what SAT score you really should be setting as your target, what the scores are that they are looking for. So that'll help you figure out what colleges you'd like to apply to, what score ranges, and then you can take those score ranges and compare them to your practice tests that you've been taking. Just something else I want to call your attention to are those important SAT test dates. As of right now, the College Board has not listed their confirmed test dates. They right now have only the anticipated SAT dates listed on their website. So as of right now, we'll be working towards that October 2nd test date. They also have an anticipated date of November 6th. Again, as of right now, they are not confirmed test dates, so they don't have registration deadlines yet or anything like that. So we definitely encourage you to continually check the College Board website underneath the SAT tab. And, later on, they're looking as of right now that registration will open by early July. So definitely keep checking that website. So this way you'll be able to register for the tests as soon as the dates are confirmed. Okay, so that kind of brings us to just our general how the group will go. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. You can reach me by my email, again, at sdpietro@levittownpl.org, or you can always call us at the library at 516-731-5728, and the teen room is at extension 241. I just want to say thank you again for volunteering, and I look forward to meeting all of you in our first information session.